Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stump back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the Pirate Alliance Kizuna clash versus Sabo and Koala with the teams that I'm going to be using to take down this particular event, utilizing my own dragon as a captain with a friend captain dragon. Now, this is a regular 10-star Kizuna, nothing really too flash in terms of needing massive damage. There's no super boss or anything like that, so realistically, you should be using the suicide strat. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys on how to use that strategy properly, as well as building up your assists and actually doing your assists every 15 minutes to get as many ticket gains as possible, so that way you can get your hands on the crystal skulls that are available for Sabo and Koala. Very important that you get these skulls. You can skip the first couple blocks if you're struggling for tickets, but these teams in today's video, like, they're also going to get a lot of gains because we are running double dragon. Now, I did already put out a video that uses dragon as a friend captain, and then we have our interchangeable captain teams as well that don't need dragon as a captain but can also use him if you can find him. But like I said, if you have dragon, I know he's an anniversary exclusive, so a lot of people did summon for him, and hopefully these particular teams do help you out with getting through it as quickly as possible and still doing a lot of damage to just clear upwards of like 30. Now, you really want to save potions, so realistically you should finish around like level 35 to 40 ish, depending on if you do use potions to sort of get you over the line. But like I said, just getting your hands on these 6+ is very, very valuable, especially in the boosted meta that we live in. Now, taking a look at the quick variation, Dragon and Ginny are the recommended characters. Cerebral Driven and Strikers get all the good stuff, but you realistically want to build around Driven characters. Sorry, Cerebral characters. Battle 2, there's normal attacks only, defense and immunity, defense up, and seven turns of it, and then a threshold debuff for 1 turn. If you remove the defense up or force defense down, you're going to get a crewmate swap. So you just run dragon, use the dragon special here, you'll be fine. And then after level 30, on the final stage, Sabo Koala have all of the immunity debuffs and all of that fun stuff. They're weak to cerebrals, they give you left column bind, normal attacks only, damage reduction, damage nullification, block orbs, and they turn all type orbs in tandem into a 90% reduction. If you do any slot changing, the enemy's going to put up a slot barrier for 3 tandem orbs for 3 turns. So, team we have looks a little bit like this. We are just sort of honing in on the Revolutionary Army characters, running double dragon, which means we bypass the defensive effects. On turn 2, you can use the special of dragon, which is going to swap your middle left character into captain. That's going to allow Atlas to become captain. You can use the Atlas super class because you have a full cerebral team, and then she's going to be swapped back later. Or you could just save that super class for a little bit later, and because you are running double dragon here, using 1 dragon on turn 2, 1 dragon on turn 3, she can be swapped in, and you can use the super class there for, I believe she gives you an attack boost with her super class, which is not exactly ideal. She gives you the overrideable orb buff, but she also gives you the she gives the slot effects boost. So you can use her as a slot effects booster, and then you can her special gives an attack boost, but she overrides orb boosts, so that way you could just like not worry about this particular Lindbergh, and you could replace him because you don't really need the slot effect boost with something like Belobedi, who gives you the chain boundary instead, which is probably going to be a little bit better. So I'm going to quickly do that. You could also use Morley and what's his name? Morley and Carousel as well. That's definitely another really good option for this particular team. So yeah, that's basically what we're rocking. The Belobedi, she is a chain boundary unit now that she's on the team, because you don't need the increased damage taken, because you're already getting that with the dragon unit. Dragon on turn 2, like I said, removes the threshold, sets defense down by 80%. Apologies for the lip smacking, I'm just not feeling 100% today. Sabo's giving you the class affinity, and then you have the orb boost and color affinity boost with Robin and Koala. Pretty straightforward. You have support Sabo and Bonnie on your dragon and Kuma character, so that way you get around the blind on turn 2, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. We are using the anniversary ship, but you can just literally replace this ship with anything that you guys like. Moving on to the int variation. Oh, something else to note about this team is Sabo is going to be your orb manipulator. Because you can't manipulate orbs in the final stage, Sabo can give you full water tandem orbs, and with that you have the tandem of Sabo, and you have the final tap of Atlas, which is actually pretty cool. Moving on to the next variation, which is the int fight. Once again, we are using dragon and like a Revolutionary Army based team, but I do have another variation that I do want to try as well, if we do get a little bit stuck later down the line. But dragon, Ginny, they are the recommended characters. Cerebral Strikers and Slash skill, the good stuff. On battle 2, there's 5 enemies, which is a little bit annoying. They give you all orbs unfavorable, and then they make all the type orbs unfavorable for 3 turns. They're going to lock your orbs and then give you special reverse for 3 turns on your crewmates. On death, they do 60,000 damage, and if you don't kill any of the mobs, they also do 10,000 damage each, which is a little bit annoying. After level 30, which obviously these teams are designed for, full immunity and the blowaway shenanigans. Weak to cerebrals, and then if you're below 50% HP, you have to deal with defense up on top of blind, all orbs. You get a hunger debuff for 2 stacks, normal attacks only, a damage limiter, and then threshold. So as you can see, literally the only difference here is the defense up, which is a little bit annoying because like you obviously don't want to deal with the defense up. Dragon can obviously reduce it by 80%, but look, sometimes 80% just isn't enough, especially when it's 100,000 defense. It takes down to 20,000, and then obviously the 2.25 conditional boost can make up for that, but it's just, yeah, it's just a Robin effect all over again. And Robin came out in what, 2021 or something like that? Robin 2022. I can't even remember when that Super Secret came out. After 1 turn, which you pretty much have to do because there is a damage limiter, you get normal attacks only. 5 turns of nullified potential ability, so which means you can't use stuff like super tandems and final taps, which are a little bit annoying. Full bot of block orbs, and then there's a slot barrier for 3 recovery orbs. But the upside to running Dragon and 5 Revolutionary Army characters is that you can avoid defensive effects, which means you don't have to worry about the threshold on the final stage, but look, Dragon still removes it, which is a bit strange. The barriers are the big one though. Like you could just bypass that recovery orb barrier because you are running a bunch of Revolutionary Army characters. On turn 2, we have the Misum support to basically just help us bypass the damage. You can then use the special of Uta and Luffy, so then that way you get an overheal mechanic, so that way you're definitely above 50% HP moving to the final stage. You can actually super swap and use the special of Robin and Koala here to get the carryover color affinity and the orb boost for the next turn. And then when you move to the final stage, you can use the super EX of Sabo to get a full board of tandem orbs. You have the Bella Betty special to give yourself an attack boost and no, not an attack boost. Yeah, an attack boost, right? She has attack boost and chain boundary, which is nice. And then you have the 2 dragon specials to just sort of give you increased damage taken and all that other fun stuff that dragon likes to do. You have the blind removal again of Bonnie and Ace on Sabo, and wham bam, thank you man, you're pretty much off to the races. Bella Betty has the Paris Barra support, so Cerebrals can sort of lock orbs. If you really want to, like you probably don't even need to use a special on turn 2. You could just realistically use the super swap of, what's her name, Robin and Koala. That might just do it. Just depends on what the orbs look like, really. I know you're gonna need some sort of orb manipulation, so you probably just want to use the EX of Sabo on turn 2. If you just use the EX of Sabo on turn 2, you're probably gonna be fine. It just depends on what your HP pool looks like, so that's just something to note. But if you just use the EX of Sabo, you get a full board of 10 slots, move into the next stage, and sort of keep as many 10 slots as possible. The problem with Robin and Koala is Robin and Koala are gonna make orbs around them into, what's it called? Into type orbs, but then Luffy and Uta can give you recovery orbs, which I believe they make matching. So as long as you just keep 1 tandem orb, you should be fine. They don't make the recovery orbs matching. I think, does the Bella Betty character do it? I think she does. I think she makes recovery orbs matching for cerebral characters. No, she does not. That's annoying. So we have no way. Well, I mean, we can always just go like something like this if it's not this. That's going to give us the recovery orbs. But at the end of the day, like it's not going to matter all that much. We should be absolutely fine. Sabo is going to make the tandem orbs matching. He definitely makes the tandem orbs matching. I'm 99% confident that he does. Yeah, tandem orbs matching for Cerebrals and Fighters. So that's always good. You could just use his special there as well. So, like I said, it just depends on what it looks like for turn 2 and turn 3. But realistically, I don't think you should need too much damage on turn 2. You could easily just use a Dragon special. If you can get the Dragon special. I don't even know if you can get the Dragon special because of the special reverse. So, is it Crewmate special reverse? If it's only Crewmate special reverse, you just use a Dragon on turn 2. And then an EX. And then you should be absolutely fine. It's only common crewmate, so just use a Dragon special, and then you could just use the Luffy and Uta special if you want to as well, and you should be fine there. But as for another team I was looking at is this one here. We are still using a Dragon friend captain, but I'm using Dragon as a sub this time, and I'm sort of just buying into Shanks. So Shanks is fantastic. Unfortunately, you don't have bypass the recovery or barrier on the second turn of the final stage, but with Shanks, you actually don't need his special until that second turn anyway. So you could just remove the barrier with Shanks, or you can use the Uta and Luffy special to give the recovery orbs on that second turn anyway. Just rely on Mystems to just take care of that, and then just use the the Dragon Special on turn 2 as well. And then you should just be absolutely hunky-dory. So this is another little comp that I have if I just need a little bit more damage or the other team's not working that well. But this team, obviously, the fact I can just run 2 dragons as captains is just going to make it a lot faster and a lot easier to sort of just find the frame captain. But remember, you're not kind of blitzing through 10 stars, so running something like this is definitely going to be very effective as well. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, but like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.